Hello and welcome to today's lesson of modal verbs. Modal verbs of possibility, certainty, advice, and obligation. What are modal verbs? What do they do? When do you need to use them? In this lesson, I will give you the answers to all these questions. There are 9 modal verbs in English. The 9 modal verbs are may, might, could, can, will, would, should, shall, and must. What do these modal verbs do and how are they different from other verbs? Also, why are they so important? Well, modal verbs add information to other verbs. That's their job. They add ideas like possibility, uncertainty, advice, and obligation to other verbs. Grammatically, modal verbs follow their own rules, and I will go through the rules. Rule number 1, a modal verb is followed by infinitive without to. For example, she can speak fluent French. Another example, we shouldn't do anything until we know more. Another example, they won't be here before 10. So, you can't put a verb after a modal verb or ing verb or anything else. Only an infinitive verb without to. Please remember, without to. Rule number 2, modal verbs can't be used in different times or tenses. Modal verbs don't have past, perfect, or future tenses like the regular verbs do. And rule number 3, modal verbs are auxiliary verbs, which mean you can make negatives by adding not to the end of the verb. For example, can becomes can't, would becomes wouldn't, might becomes may not. Negative modal verbs are often contracted, although might not and may not are written fully without contraction. For will and shall, the spelling changes in negative. For example, will becomes won't, W-O-N-T, shall becomes shan't, S-H-A-N, T. How do we make a question? To make a question, you have to move the modal verb before the subject. For example, should I tell her? ? Now that I've given you the basic rules and how it works, look at the slideshow of the modal verbs, when to use them, and the examples that follow. We use may and might and could to say that something is possible, but not certain. They may come by car, meaning maybe they will come by car. They might be home, meaning maybe they are home. If we don't, we could be late, meaning maybe we will be late. We use can, could, to express someone or something's ability to do something, or say what is possible in a particular situation. For example, I can't concentrate. I could swim when I was 6. I'll be able to travel once I get my passport. We use must to show we are sure of something is true and we have reasons for our beliefs. For example, she must be tired after walking for 2 hours. Another example, you haven't eaten all day. You must be hungry. So, we use can't and cannot to say that we feel something is impossible. Yani something ما رح يصير. This is for certainty. Example, that can't be true. You can't be serious. We use should for advice to say what the speaker believes is correct or best. For example, if you have a toothache, you should go to the dentist. You shouldn't watch TV when you're studying. We use must for obligation to talk about a rule or law and about something that we think is necessary, something we think is important. For example, you must wear your seatbelt when you drive. You must do your homework. We use have to for obligation to talk about what somebody in authority has said is necessary to do when circumstances make something necessary. For example, my teacher says that I have to study more. I have to go to the supermarket. I need food. Finally, we use don't have to talk about something that is not necessary to do. The example you have, I don't have to do that activity. It's optional. She doesn't have to cook today. Her sister made pizza. One note to remember, these modal verbs express different meaning depending on the content of the text. So you really have to understand the sentence or question as a whole. Concluding this lesson, I hope you feel more comfortable using these modal verbs.